I haven't eaten in 72 hours because I was busy building Notion AI. And this is the first time that I'm going to eat. But before I break my fast, I wanted to share what I've been working on. Because in 72 hours, without cooking, without eating, without digesting, we can do a lot of things. So I've been working on Notion AI since 2021. I built my whole bachelor thesis around the concept of connecting Notion with a voice assistant, with a GPT 3.5 it was at this point. So it's been some time. AI has become a lot smarter. There were a lot of limitations that I ran while building the prototype, but I think I'm like starting to get it to work and actually apply it to business, because there's one key aspect that I see a lot of people are missing when they are building AI systems, specifically agents, because agents is just one of three aspects that we need to cover. So besides agents, to make agents really work, we need to give them the right context, right? So only if they understand the context where we are able to connect the agents to, and they understand who we are, who our business is, who our clients are the agents able to like understand more? And maybe you're familiar with the trash in, trash out. Well, the better the context, the better the agent can work. And there's one other thing that is still missing, which is skills. So skills is something that is commonly used now, and I think we need to connect the skills to the agents as well. So now I can say, hey, execute the skill of doing a launch campaign for this person in this community. Then the agent knows what to do and execute the whole skill. And I've been like building out mostly the context over the weekend to like really understand the framework. We have attract, convert, and deliver. And these are the marketing, the sales, and the product, or coaching, or like whatever you are delivering to get your clients the results. But each of these can then be broken down into three smaller steps. So in Attract, we have the niche, because we want to understand who we're talking to. We have the funnel, as in like, okay, how do we actually get people into the door? And then we have the story, as in how we are talking with the people, the communication. In terms of convert, we need to have an offer, because otherwise, like, what are we going to sell? And then we have the outreach, which allows us to actually message people and let them know and qualify them and see whether this is something that they are potentially interested in. And then we have the closing of the deal. And then in Deliver, we specifically go through the onboarding. We have the engage, because we want to make sure that they are enjoying the journey. And then we have the retention. So we want to retain them over time so they continue staying customers of us. So this is how I'm thinking about it. And I have structured that even further into like more steps of three underneath each, and I defined all of these and what they are. And then I told the AI to go through all of my content that I produced in the past. I told it to look at the calls that I had in the past, both with like potential clients, with actual clients, coaching calls, service calls, all of that, and told it to just fill it out. And it did a pretty good job at it. And then after that, I actually went and told it to, hey, now you have the context on like how I'm doing it. Now please do this for my clients. And the whole creation of this process and figuring out the structure and the framework took like basically almost like 3 days, so until like Sunday evening. And then I just told it to apply this to my clients and take their calls and content and projects that they were working on and just use that to fill out their context as well as their like own player context. Because like when we are thinking about context, this is the business context or the community context. We want to understand the attract, convert, deliver. But if we are going deeper into our own personal context, so I always think of like everyone as players, because if you are actually playing the game, then you stop being an NPC and you start making choices. And those are the people that I like working with, the ones that are actually choosing their own path and that are working on becoming the hero of their own story. So basically the protagonist mindset. And for the player, I like to think of the personality on kind of like who you are as a person, as well as the presence on like how do you appear. And we also have the journey. It's like, what journey are you on? Because based on that, the AI or the agent will be able to like properly understand who you are, who your community is about. And then based on that, we will be able to apply skills much more effectively, like write this post, draft me a script for this YouTube video, help me onboard this client, review the sales call, because all of these things are now possible, but we first need to have the context. And here again, I like to structure things into sets of 3 again. So for the personality, we have the direction, the values, and the type. So the direction is basically where am I going? Like, what do I enjoy? What am I good at? What do I think the world needs? So very similar to Ikigai, maybe you're familiar with that. I just took away the what can you get paid for? Because like if you're working long enough on one thing, you can get paid for anything. Especially if the world needs something like this. The values are just things that you want to move towards to or move away from, or generally like rules that you want to apply in your life. And then your your types are all about like personality. So this is Myers-Briggs, this is Big Five, this is a human design, whatever you're using, it just shows your personality. In terms of the presence, I think in terms of like text, so like how do you write, how do you appear on video, and how do you appear offline? And of course, I've been breaking these down even further to get even more detail and make sure that the AI has even more context. And then in the journey, I'm thinking about what is our proof, so things we have done in the past. What is our mission? So what are we doing right now? And then what is our vision? So what do we want to do in the future? So these are the things that I feel like AI needs to know about us to properly help us in our day to day and then apply the skills. And then I obviously build a skill to build out the player context. And I build a skill to build out the like community context. And then I told the AI agent to apply these new skills to my clients and actually look into the databases where I'm storing all of their content, all of their calls, and all of their projects and put it together and told it to just work over the night. And then in the morning, I woke up and it's like, this is amazing. So that's why I wanted to share this, and I wanted to do this before I start eating. So yeah, that's what it's all about. Enjoying the journey and using the tools to the most effective way so we can level up and yeah, enjoy more of the things that we love doing the most. So see you next one. Peace. Mm. Oh, this is good.